Welcome to 10-Minute IELTS, where I'll be giving you strategies in 10 minutes. Today we're tackling IELTS Writing Task 2. Now the question is, with the increasing rate of globalization, more and more people desire to work and study abroad. Do you agree or disagree that it is better to work abroad? Now take note, when you're given a long question in the exam, the first sentence or maybe even the first two don't count. The real question is only the last statement, which is agree or disagree about working abroad being better. Once you've identified the real question, the first step is to plan using arere. A means answer. In my case, I'll answer I agree that it is better to work abroad. R stands for reason, which could be the salary is higher. E stands for example, which could be about how a Philippine nurse earns only 12,000 Philippine pesos, whereas a UK nurse earns at least 2,500 British pounds. Reason 2 could be the benefits are better, and some examples of these benefits are such as in Canada, where on top of your basic salary you could be given a food allowance, accommodations, even paid leaves and health insurance. At first, this will take time, but once you get used to planning for an essay, you'll find that this is really much faster than just writing right away, because once you have your plan, all you need to do is organize them into what I like to call the 10-line method. So step 2 is to organize. My complete answer for the plan is I agree it is better to work abroad. Line 2 is this essay will explain why. Whereas line 3 is a copy-paste from the reason that the salary is higher. For example, I don't need full sentences just yet in my rough draft. We'll complete that later. And then that is why I just need my short answer here. It is better to work abroad. Once we're done with the first body, you'll notice that the second body is that simple. If you have your reason to, just copy paste it here, as well as your example, which doesn't necessarily have to be the same as mine. I prefer personal experiences. And then that is why it is better to work abroad. The conclusion doesn't need anything new. It's just a summary of our intro and bodies. So I'll start with what I mentioned in the intro, which is my answer, my reason 1, which is the focus of my first body, and my reason 2, which is the focus of my second body. Now that we're done with step 2, which is to organize, the third step, if you want to go higher than 6.0, because this is an essay that can only get as high as 6, the way to go beyond that is to move on to step 3, which is to paraphrase. You may need a thesaurus when you do this, but it's fine if you are able to come up with the synonyms on your own also. I just feel that most students have trouble coming up with the synonyms to the question keywords. The reason we only paraphrase the question keywords is because these are the words that tend to be repeated again and again and again throughout our essay. We have better, 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 and better again. That's a penalty in vocabulary. So let's paraphrase that into more advantageous, beneficial, maybe even preferable. Whereas work could be get a job, find a position, and pursue a career. While abroad could be overseas, in a foreign land, and another country. Again, it's not as quick as I'm doing it now. I'm just showing you the technique. But once you have the synonyms, maybe with the use of the thesaurus, you can replace these keywords that come from the question as well with the synonyms so that the words don't sound repetitive. Overseas. And then here, instead of better, more beneficial, and to find a position in a foreign land. Whereas here we could say that it is preferable to pursue a career in another country. We don't need to paraphrase the question keywords here in the conclusion because I haven't used them in the other parts of the essay anymore once I've paraphrased. Now this essay is looking good. This could get a 6.5 already just because of the answer, organization, and wide range of words, but it doesn't hit the requirement for task 2, which is 250 words. To do that, we move on to step 4, which is to elaborate. And that's simply done by just adding names, dates, places, and numbers specifically in the examples of our bodies. Now, I already have an idea here of what I'm going to type. I'm just going to make it longer and add more details, such as, for example, in the Philippines, a volunteer nurse would be lucky to earn at least 12,000 Philippine pesos a month. This is after working for 12 hours each day for at least 5 times a week. In other places, like United Kingdom, their nurses are much more fairly compensated since they get at least 2,500 British pounds a month for the same amount of work and hours. In fact, I have a friend from my home country who decided to go to UK because of this. That is why it is more beneficial to find a position in a foreign land. Now you'll notice that this is the exact same process you can use in the second example. This is supposed to be only a 10-minute video, so I don't want to take too much time doing it again. You can do this at home, but for now let's take out these numbers and make it look like an actual essay so that we can hear what it would sound like after following the 4 steps, which is to plan, organize, paraphrase, and elaborate. Also, try not to be so obvious that you're using a technique in the exam. Try to paraphrase the words in conclusion into to sum it up. Another reason could be another justification. Do whatever you like. But for now, let's read. The question is, do you agree or disagree that it is better to work abroad? And my essay is, I agree that it is more advantageous to get a job overseas. This essay will explain why. One reason is the salary is higher. For example, in the Philippines, a volunteer nurse would be lucky to earn at least 12,000 Philippine pesos a month. This is after working 12 hours each day for at least 5 times a week. In other places like United Kingdom, their nurses are much more fairly compensated since they get at least 2,500 British pounds a month for the same amount of work and hours. In fact, I have a friend from my home country who decided to go to UK because of this. That is why it is more beneficial to find a position in a foreign land. Another reason is the benefits are better. For example, Canada provides a basic salary on top of food allowances, accommodations, paid leaves, and health insurances, etc., etc. More names, dates, and places until I reached 100 words per body. That is why it is preferable to pursue a career in another country. In conclusion, it is better to work abroad because the salary is higher, also the benefits are better. Well, those are my 10 minutes. I hope this technique was useful for you. Just remember that the 4 steps are namely POPE, which means first, plan your answer and reasons, organize your essay, paraphrase any overused words, which are usually the question keywords, and elaborate the bodies by providing names, dates, places, and numbers. Leave a comment below if you want to help me figure out what my next video should be about in terms of IELTS techniques and strategies or challenges. You can also email me at 10minuteielts@gmail.com. I also provide online coaching sessions, and you can either leave your contact in the comments below or just email me if you're curious about it. But those are my 10 minutes. Well, now it's 11, but thank you for your time, and I hope this has been useful for you.